Hello everyone. Let's explore the world of forces, motion and structures in the engineering mechanics in a very simple way. So let's start. Today we will discuss about the topic force. What is a force? It is defined as an external agency which produces or tends to produce, destroy or tends to destroy the motion. Or we can say the force is a physical concept that describes the interaction between the two objects that can change the motion of one or both of them. Force is a vector quantity and it is measured in the unit Newton. It is also represented in the kilonewton, that is 1 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. Also, meganewton means 1 into 10 to the power 6 Newton, giganewton means 1 into 10 to the power 9 Newton, and teranewton means 1 into 10 to the power 12 Newton, and likewise. So, mathematically we can say that F is equals to mass into acceleration, where F is equals to force, which is measured in the Newton, m is nothing but the mass of the body, that is in the kg, and a is nothing but the acceleration produced in the meter per second square. So we can say the force is equals to mass into acceleration. Once you understand the concept of force, we will move to another parameter, that is characteristics of a force. A force is completely defined only when we know the four parameters like magnitude, direction, point of application and nature of the force, or we can say the sense of a force. The magnitude means what? A magnitude represents the value of the force, like 10 kilonewton force is acting and 5 kilonewton force is acting, and likewise. And the direction means the line along which that force is particularly acting. And point of application is nothing but where on the body the force is applied. That is nothing but a point of application. And nature or the sense means whether it is pulling force or the pushing force, or we can say the nature of the force is represented by the arrowhead. Generally, it is termed as a push or the pull. Any force which is acting towards the point is called as a pushing force, and any force that is acting away from the body is called as a pulling force. So this is about the four characteristics of the forces, that is magnitude, direction, point of application and nature or sense. Now we will discuss the different types of effects which are causing on a body because of the force. There are the different effects like a translation, rotation, deformation or change in the motion. That translation means what? Change in the position which is considered to be in the linear motion. And rotational effect means turning of the body about an axis, means which will create the moment effect. The next thing is the deformation. Change in the shape or size is termed to be deformation. And the rest to motion and the motion to rest means the force which is causing the body to change its state of a rest or the state of a motion. Then these are the effects because of the forces occurring in the body. Now we can differentiate the forces on the basis of contact force and the non-contact force. As the name itself indicates that the contact force means the force acting on the body because of the physical touch of each other. And non-contact force means the force that can act between the two objects without them physically touching each other. It's called as a non-contact force. Then there are the different examples of a contact force and the non-contact force. Like in the contact force there is a friction force, resistance force, then tension, then the applied force. And in non-contact force we can say the gravity force. We can actually feel the gravity force, but it is not actually touching the body. That is a non-contact force. Then another is the magnetic force. Then the electrostatic force is also non-contact force. So these are the few examples of a contact force and the non-contact force. Now we will discuss the contact forces with their example. We'll start with the friction force. Friction is the force that happens when the two surfaces rub against each other, and it's like a sticky force that can make things harder to move smoothly. For example, pushing a heavy box is harder than pushing a lighter box because of the friction between the two box and the floor. Now the next is resistance. Resistance is a force that happens when something tries to slow down or stop another thing from moving. For example, a paraglider stays in the air because of the air resistance, and the wind pushes against the paraglider and they create the force. Then the next force is a tension force. Tension force is a type of a force that happens when an object is pulled in the opposite direction by two forces. For example, swinging on the swing creates a tension in the ropes or chains holding the setup and keeping the swing suspended and allowing the person to swing. This is about the tension force. Now the next is applied force. Applied force is when one object pushes or pulls on another object. It happens when you use your muscles to push or pull an object in a certain direction. For example, while playing the football, a player uses their foot to push the ball with force and making it move in the air. The harder the player kicks the ball, the stronger the force they apply. So this is the example of applied force. Now we will discuss about the non-contact force, and from that we'll discuss about the gravity force. Gravity is a force that pulls objects towards each other. It is what keeps us on the ground and what makes things fall down. For example, when you jump on the trampoline, you come back down because of the gravity, and the gravity is the force that pulls things towards the ground. So this is about the non-contact force, which is a gravity force. Another non-contact force is a magnetic force. Magnetic force is a type of a non-contact force that acts between the magnet and the magnetic objects. For example, a magnet crane is a machine that uses a strong magnet to pick up the metal objects. When the magnet is turned on, it creates a magnetic field that attracts the metal object. As in the picture shows, the crane is lifting that vehicle with the help of magnet, which is considered to be a non-contact force. Now the next type of a non-contact force is an electrostatic force. Electrostatic force is a force between the two objects that have an electric charge. Like charges repel each other and opposite charges attract each other. For example, lightning is caused by a buildup of electric charge in the air that suddenly discharges, creating a big flash of light and the louder thunder. So this is all about the contact forces and non-contact forces with their example. Now we will move towards the system of forces. When a single agency is acting on a particle, it is called as a force. But when number of forces simultaneously acting, the system so formed is called as a system of forces. Then there are the different types of a system of forces like coplanar forces, non-coplanar forces, collinear forces, non-collinear forces, concurrent forces, non-concurrent forces, and the parallel forces. So in next lecture, we will take each and every type of a system of a force in detail with their example. So in this video, we'll stop here, and in next lecture, we'll see what is the composition and the resolution of a forces, resultant and the equilibrium, and the relation between the resultant and equilibrium. As well as we'll see the different system of a forces with their example. So thank you so much for watching video till end. If you like the content of the video, please like it, share and subscribe the channel for part 2. Thank you.